Most of us experience a tremendous amount of anxiety in our lives. And oftentimes we've kind of normalized that anxiety. So we're not fully conscious of how much stress we're running on a daily basis. We get anxious. Think of it this way: we get anxious about so many different things. Like we might send an email, an invitation to some friends of ours, and then we haven't heard back and we tense up. We have some work that we just spend so much time on, and then we put it out there and we're not sure how it's going to be received, and we run anxiety about that. We have constant financial pressures, or we get into a conflict with a personal relationship and we tense up. We're not sure how we're doing. It's epidemic in our society, and you're not alone. I have spent the last 22 years leading workshops. I founded a holistic drug and alcohol treatment center. I've created a methodology, experiential engagement therapy. And I really dedicated all this time to get to the bottom of how can we live a life where we thrive instead of being under the spell of this constant anxiety. And one of the most common denominator that we really were able to get to the bottom of is that we experience within our nervous system a state of anxiety because we're running a narrative, and this narrative never fully addresses the nervous system anxiety that is unfolding. What most of us don't realize is that the emotional body level, at a visceral experience that I'm having in my body, there's one thing and one thing only happening. When I'm not getting an email back, an email response when I send out an invitation, my emotional experience is, am I okay? Is there something wrong with me here? And it's not a rational thought, it's an experience in the body that is sending a signal that there's like, oh, there's anxiety here because I don't really know if I still belong. And this is epidemic in our society. We experience this with all of these little details, whether we did some work and we put it out there and now we don't know, we're unsure. And again, it's the same energy. Are we okay? Are we going to be okay? There's a conflict in our relationships, and the same thing with the financial pressures. So at the core, anxiety exists in the body and it's never being met. We never actually go there and know how to attune to this anxiety, which is the very remedy that we need. In this workshop, we will experience radical shift, a radical change in our ability to become so much more efficient in dealing with our anxiety. Because once we actually learn this tool of attuning to this anxiety, what starts happening is that we have access to all kinds of thoughts that are problem-solving thoughts that otherwise would not exist, that are not there and accessible to us because we're just running the narrative and not attending to the emotion. Once the body has an experience that it's okay, that we've attuned to it, now we have access to a whole nother way of thinking. And then we are so much more efficient in dealing with our lives. We're so much more efficient at creating connection with the people around us and at not taking things personally. I'm inviting you to register for this 12-week series workshop based on my book, Avive, Adventure and Belonging. It's one of the most life-transforming experiences that we can have together to learn to prioritize connection first, connection with our emotional body, connection with ourselves at a deep level, and also learn authentic communication on how to communicate in a way that is prioritizing connection. So join us. We've seen so many people make radical changes in their lives in such a short amount of time, where they shift from anxiety into thriving. They shift from experiencing themselves in a state of, stress, and move into accessing their own sense of courage, their own sense of resilience, and a deep connection with their sense of love and value. So we're excited to have you register. Below is the link for you to do so. We look forward to meeting you.